Well, hello, Libra. Welcome to your February reading. We're going to jump right in and see what we have for you in the Oracle cards, and then we'll go into the tarot. Okay? So, Oracle cards. We have Detective in the upright, great powers of observation and intuition, desire to seek the truth. So, first things first, you're on a journey. Shield Maiden, make plans and focus. So you're not letting what you see get to you. You are processing to make the proper decisions. And then we have Peace, Spirit Keeper of the South, Family, Friends, and Guides. You're definitely in an era, Libra, if you know what that means. We'll talk about it. River Movement, Healer of Ages, and Tribal Spirit Dancer. So, Libra, what I'm saying, okay, you're in an era. It's an era of, you're kind of on a rebirth era, where you're like, I don't want anything in my life or any situation in my life that doesn't bring me peace. It's simple as that. You're like, I don't want drama. I don't want heaviness. I just want like peace and calm and normality in my life. Yeah, most definitely. And you're definitely pinpointing, if not already have pinpointed, problem areas. Okay. And you're assessing how to take care of those areas. A lot of it has to do with your connections with people. So, family connections, maybe old friends that you had, co-workers, getting more connected to your spiritual self and relying less on you, as an individual, and being like there's a higher power. You're gearing towards more healthy relationships with people, healthy connections, and being more spiritually connected. Yeah. And figuring out how to integrate this knowledge so you can feel this peace. It's like you're understanding that life has a flow. Like you can be a manifester is what I'm saying, and you can manifest sort of like the life that you want and the situations that you want, but there are moments where you have to take a step back and see sort of where the waves are taking you. And yeah, it's a combination of those things. Okay, so let's get into your cards. All right, Libra, February. 10 of Swords came out, flying out actually. 8 of Cups. You've definitely had some struggles. And it's stuff that you kept going over, or lessons that you kept going over. And it feels to me like you were like making excuses or not dealing with things the way you needed to, and now this is like forcing you to have to deal with it. Judgment. Sun. Good. The Chariot. 7 of Wands. The Fool. Queen of Wands. 5 of Wands, 3 of Cups. And then we have Justice on the bottom and the 6 of Wands. Yeah. So you're learning how to deal with your environment in the proper way. The people around you, your coworkers, your situation, your love life, things that you put into your life, you're filtering out like what's fair, what's not fair. What are you giving too much of your time and energy to? And what are you not giving enough energy to? So all of those things. It's about balancing out the things that you're bringing into your life and the people. So right in the center, we have the Chariot. And the Chariot is you in February focusing on how to get back on track. Okay. And it's interesting because this time, which I kind of usually feel in your readings, Libra, when you get thinking about how to get on track and what to do next, you kind of get overwhelmed about perfection and doing it right. This is different. Okay. It's been hard. I've been in my head. I feel like I used to make the right decisions. Now I'm not sure if they were the right decisions and they're taking me down the right path. And I feel like all of this questioning helps you see the truth, if that makes any sense, right? So it's like you have a moment to step out of your head and see clearly without the rules that you've put forth, okay? So I feel like you're freeing your heart, you're freeing your compassion to be open to other possibilities and scenarios, like honestly and truly, okay? Not like, oh, I'm nice, you know? Okay. So in February, I see you making a lot of choices about people and situations in your life. It's almost like you having wake up calls or you notice things that you need to work on. Because I don't want to say, Libra, like things that you noticed that you didn't notice before, because I feel like you did notice them, right? It was just like, I don't want to deal with this or it'll work itself out type of energy. But this is that call of like, I need to put effort and focus into creating, into doing this, into making this the way that I want it to be. I see you taking a risk that's out of the norm, doing something different, and it has to do with you seeing what needs to be changed. I do see it being positive changes, and I do see it helping your self-esteem and how you feel about yourself as well, because you're like, okay, I'm on the right path, I'm on top of things, I have a more understanding. I definitely see you moving more towards your spirituality, because that's a good fuel. That's a good way to put it, Libra. It's a good fuel for you. It's a good push for you. It's a good place to come from. So I see you gearing more towards your spirituality and being open to things. You know what's interesting? You know, we all know people who like philosophy, okay? And it's not like when a person gets into a certain philosopher or theme like stoicism and they're like, everything is this. There is no other theory. It's just stoicism. And then you realize like there's pieces of everything in life, not just this one particular route. That's where I feel like you're going. You're going to, I'm going to say this, and I know you're going to hate it. You're going to run into some issues with friends and family members, okay? I feel like there's issues with boundaries, okay? More like they treat you like a friend or something more lighthearted and not as serious as they should. Like they don't respect your boundaries. They don't listen to really what you're saying. They might say yes, but it's not. I feel like the connection of respect is what's missing here. And because you're building up your confidence, you're establishing your boundaries and what you will and will not take. But what's interesting about this one, Libra, is you're doing it with a lot of class. It's not angry. It's not forceful. It doesn't have Aries energy in it, you know? It's very classy. Like you're like, no, I will not do that. And they're like, what? And you're like, I have to respect my boundaries. You know, I feel like it's very respectful, the way that you're doing it. Your energy is very good. I will say that. And also the type of people you choose to be around and the type of relationships you choose. It's really thinking about that. So, for a lot of you that maybe had like a list of things that a person had to have and they were all focused on looks, they're now going to be focused on personality and like goal achievement. You know, like what their future looks like. Does it match yours? That kind of thing. Do we have proper personalities? And less about attractiveness and things like that. Okay, so Judgment, the Hierophant, Ten of Cups, Two of Wands, Seven of Cups, Four of Swords, Knight of Swords, Queen of Wands. You've definitely tried to make the best choices that you can. I just feel like you're getting to the point, Libra, whether you're tired. You're tired of overthinking things. You're tired of always having to be the one to sort of come up with a plan that's good for everyone involved. It gives me the vibe of like, what about me? What about people thinking about how I would feel about this? Um, Instead of me always being the one to fix everything for everyone. And it's interesting because there's a catch-22 here of like you being happy that you've achieved those goals at some capacity. But also there is a like, I would like to stop having these types of thought processes so I could just be happy, kind of like a easy breezy type of connection or love. It's like you just want that sense of like for things to be calm, mellow, normal, you know, and not like drama filled. I'm going to say drama filled. Yeah, you've definitely made the choice in February to be happy. It's like you've seen things or you acknowledge things that can't be unseen or unacknowledged. And because of that, you have to see them as truth and then move on and make decisions based on that. So that's what I see you doing. I see you planning to take new risks and doing new things based on like a true happiness. And also doing things out of the normal. Like you wouldn't normally do this. You wouldn't normally say this to this person. You wouldn't normally take this route. But that's what you're doing. You're taking that route. You're going that direction. You're emotionally backing off from things that have drained you and people that have drained you. And I feel like in a lot of these situations, Libras, you are the glue to something. And that's why you've emotionally invested. But what's interesting is I feel like you're emotionally investing in things for them to be like successful or effective. And you're not sure that that's what's coming out of it. It's more like you're the one that maintains the situation, but it's not resolving itself the way that it should. And you can't always be the one to have to put energy into fixing things because what time do you have for yourself? And this is where we get to the key element of February. And this is where balance is important. If you're putting too much energy onto one side, you don't have enough energy to go the other side. You know, if you're putting too much energy into other people, you don't have enough time to focus on yourself and what you need to get done. and that drains you. It's not even about time as much as it's about you not having the energy and the motivation. So because you've decided to be happy, you are now saying things that I feel like you've held back on. Standing up for boundaries that you've held back on, going towards things that you've held back on, and being confident about doing those things. I don't feel like you regret anything that you're going to do. If anything, you may feel a little bad because people have to learn the hard way, and you're compassionate in that way. Yeah, so February is just a wake-up call for you in general, about using your knowledge wisely and not dumbing yourself down in any aspect of your life to make other people feel uncomfortable. Because it's like you don't want people to face not knowing something. You're just like, well, I'll do it. I'm trying to educate you, but if you don't, it's fine. We can move on from it. But sometimes this is an interesting road we're going on. Sometimes people have to face what they don't want to face. And it's not up to you to pad the fall. It's like people just have to learn. They have to go through these situations in order to pick themselves back up. It's just that you don't want to see them fall. So that must be for somebody specific, because I feel like they had nothing to do with the cards I just saw. Yeah, boundaries. It's important for you to establish boundaries, but also you need to have a strong base. And that's why I feel like you're getting more into your spirituality and connecting more with your spirituality. It's going to sort of awaken something inside of you that really boosts up your self-esteem. Like I said, it makes you feel more confident, where quietly you've been lacking. I feel like you say a lot of things that are confident. You present yourself as confident, but inside you're like, I'm just winging it. Yeah, you're going to have to establish boundaries with those around you for sure. For sure. All right, Libra. This is more about doing things for yourself and less about doing it so everyone else can see it, Okay. So we have this 9 of Swords, 9 of Cups, 2 of Cups, 7 of Cups, 7 of Wands, Temperance, Death, Knight of Cups, 8 of Swords, 3 of Swords, Ace of Swords, and the Chariot again. Sorry. I dropped some cards. I had to pick them up. And then I dropped them again. You know what? We'll get them later. I'm not. These cards are really slippery. I made them a while ago. And I laminated them. And that laminate is like, whew. Okay. So, you're worried about someone in particular around you, or maybe family. It's something about them losing money or losing a house or losing something because they don't make the proper decisions. And I feel like you've put a lot of time and energy into helping this person because you care about them. But it's safe for you. It's safe for you to know that it's time for you to walk away from this emotionally. I feel like you've done what you can, It's like emotionally you gotta break off from this bond. to that depth so you can get yourself on the right direction. So it's not being mean as much as you're returning the focus back to yourself. You can give somebody so much energy and so much time. But what's interesting is that is in your material aspect, which means that it's really going to help you boost up your finances, and it's really going to help you be more stable materially wise, because now you're focusing more on yourself. So if you're having trouble getting yourself together in some aspects, one or another, cutting this person off emotionally and letting them handle their own despair pretty much is what's really going to save you. Okay. Yeah, I don't feel like you're happy with the decision. I don't feel like they're happy with the decision, but it's almost like a decision that needs to be made. Okay. All right. The reason why you have to make this decision, and we move to communication, the reason why is because it's like like trying to revive a dead horse, right? It's like you're just doing the same things over and over again, but nothing is happening, because it's like, why do I need to breathe if you're breathing for me? That's a weird scenario, but that's the one that came to my mind. So, yeah, I and what's interesting is I feel like this is something that you've wanted to say, repeat, or do for a long time, and you did it because of care. Um, but it still didn't give anybody, like, it still didn't give them like a strong foot to step out on. But they have the knowledge that they need to do it. They just need to use it. I also see there's a problem with, I don't know if some of you are dating or you have people at your job that are like this, but I feel like you have been putting on a smile and nod to someone and not saying what you need to say. Okay. And I feel like it's to protect yourself, because you probably don't know what you're going to say, Libra. And you're like, if I tell them the truth, they really are not going to take this the right way. Um, yeah. Yeah, I see you cutting off some friends or probably somebody you've been dating on and off in a situationship. I feel like there's no emotional camaraderie. Like, it feels like a waste. It's like you're defending it for what? Is kind of what it feels like. Okay. Yeah, you're going to be in the process of February of cutting some things off and changing some things in your life. Breaking apart some old themes or ideas that you've had that just don't work anymore or are not helpful to you any longer. Um, you know what it is? It's like you didn't have space to try new things. You didn't have space to change. It was like you had to be this way for this to continue, but you're not happy in that, on that path or in that direction. So you had to cut things off in order to be more free or gain more confidence about the direction that you're going in your life. So let's talk about love, even though I feel like relationships and connections are in here a lot. You have not had the best love life. But what's interesting is you have a tendency to be like, this is the one. And you're like, I don't know how we're going to get there, but we're going to be happy. That's what I'm seeing. Like, you're like, this is the person. And I know there's some issues and I know there's some things, but we're going to get there. Um, this is like at the beginning though, because I feel like Libra, you're the type of person that can't unsee something. You see issues. You don't block them out. You see them and you are like, can I deal with this? Can I not deal with this? I can deal with it, then I'll move on from it. We're not, we're not going to sit and bake in it. But there will be something that you just can't deal with and you're like, nope, and that whimsy and love is good. But the focus here really is like why you keep going over this. For some of you, you might be at the end of a relationship right now, like you're about to close it out. You're tired of maybe a situationship or something's been going on too long. You've run out of patience. Yeah, you've run out of patience for dating the same type of people or going on dates or relationships that don't last, or you're running out of patience for a particular relationship you're in now. You're looking to be married. You're looking for long term. And because you're doing that, the characteristics of the people you're looking for are going to change. So even if you liked a person now and you were like, I'm going to hold on to them and I'll just give them time and they'll do right, your energy has changed to want something different, more stable, more reliable. And this person can't give you that. Okay. So that's why I feel it changing. It's more of a understanding about a particular relationship, which actually helps you with your future relationships. So it's a dual reaction. Is that the word I want to use? Yeah. So from here on out, I see you choosing relationships and connections based on what you really want, what you really need, not want, what you really need. Stability, somebody to put you in your place, maybe. Someone who is reliable, which makes you have to be more reliable. You may have to face some things about yourself as well, but you know that this will be good for you. It reminds me of that energy of, that saying of be in the room with people that are smarter than you. It's kind of like that. It's someone that's more emotionally developed or some different than you in some way. And you have to jump into this and be like, well, we're going to wing it and I'm not going to get hurt. I'm going to keep my ego down and I'm going to, be in this healthy relationship, even if there are things that I need to resolve about myself, if that makes sense. That may be for someone specific because that's a pretty specific thing. So let's see what Spirit has for you, Libra. Emotions are running high. Yeah. Emotions are running high because you're making a lot of changes. It's more like people are mad at you or the outside is looking at you like you've changed, but you're like, I'm just growing and enriching in spiritual energy. I'm becoming the best Libra I can be. And also you having to deal with sort of the splashback of how people are reacting to you, because it makes you feel bad sometimes, especially if there are friends or family members that you love. You don't want to see them angry with you, but this all has a purpose. So then we have the dog. This is Lenormand, by the way. The dog, the rider, and the moon. So this is just an assessment to your loyalty. You're very loyal to the people around you, the situation, which is why you are trying to overcompromise. That's just an indication of how much you care. That's an indication of how much loyalty is there. But I feel like you're walking, like the rider feels like it's moving away from that kind of loyalty energy. And it's really based on like, what is the loyalty that I'm receiving back? And if you don't feel like you're getting your goals achieved or your fulfillment from the situations you're in, you're in the point of like, what's the point of me being there? And I feel like because emotions, quote unquote, are running high, it's easier for you to make the decision to break off or to move away. The moon tells me that you're moving towards a space that has a bit of development in it. So again, like I said, this is spiritual development, this is emotional development, this is story development, right? Because you're walking into shadow work. You're walking into facing things you've never faced before, dealing with things you never dealt before, or asking yourself the tough questions, which you're breaking out of habit, doing habitual things. Okay. All right, Libra. I feel like that was a lot. I hope you got what you needed out of it. I love you, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.